Hi, everybody. So this year, the Producers Guild is honored to pay tribute to the profound impact of Paula Weinstein and Lynda Obst. Yes, two exceptional women who have made a lasting impact on the industry with their trailblazing work. Paula represented change in our industry, change that was politically, well, in every way, particularly important for women. But the results...
The first demonstration I ever...
She would not have allowed that to happen. But the results that happened when women began to show up in Hollywood became important for everyone, because when women began developing and directing and producing films, films began to reflect voices that had been missing. And I know this because I lived through it. You know, I made my first movie in 1958. Most of you weren't even born. Oh my God, it was so lonely. It was all men, and hey, I love men, but I don't know, young woman, there was no place to go to have a real leg-crossing guffaw. There was nobody to plot with and be vulnerable with. And then in the 70s, women began claiming their power, and Paula was one of the first. First, she was my agent, then she became my best friend, and before I knew it, she was running a studio, and then she was a producer. And God, she was a good producer. I worked with her on some of my most successful, whatever they're called, projects. I don't know. Are your brains real scrambled? Mine, yours, I know yours is, yeah. No, but Paula produced Monster-in-Law, for example. And when we did the first preview, the exit polls were lousy. And so Paula, she totally saved it by getting Carrie Fisher to rewrite the ending and hiring Elaine Stritch to play my mother. Paula knew funny. And there was nobody better to share side-splitting guffaws with than Paula. She was funny and irreverent, and she was so generous with everybody, friends and strangers alike. As you could see in the video, Paula's values are what got her out of bed in the morning, and she never betrayed them, and she practically always found a way to marry her values to her wildly popular films and TV shows like 9 to 5, Grace and Frankie, Recount, and there was the Fabulous Baker Boys and Blood Diamond and Perfect Storm. And when she expanded to TV, she created a slew of star-studded, Emmy award-winning, politically focused HBO movies like Recount, Citizen Cone, was about Roy Cohn, I knew him, and Too Big to Fail. But, you know, I think that Paula's greatest legacy, besides her enduring work making great films, is the hundreds of young people for whom she found time to guide, including my own children, and all the young women she mentored. So many of the movers and shakers in this town now were mentored by Paula. Yeah. At her, it wasn't a shiva, but it was a memorial at the Tribeca Film Festival that she worked on with Jane Rosenthal for more than a decade. And after the speakers finished, we asked anybody who was mentored by Paula to come and stand with us on stage. And, you know, at first a few people came up, and then a few more followed, and by the end, most of the theater was standing on the stage. That was Paula. One of a kind, beloved, irreplaceable. And this is going to make her so happy. Actually, she's here. She's in her daughter's purse. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. I love you. Thank you very much.
Oh, I love you so much. Okay, to just name a few: Contact, The Last of the Mohicans, Sleepless in Seattle, Interstellar, Adventures in Babysitting, and of course, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It is my honor tonight to celebrate Lynda Obst and her legacy, both on screen and off. I'm sure every person in this room has a few individuals they can count on one hand who have been the biggest influences, mentors, and supporters in their careers. These are the people who not only champion you, but also instill the confidence to lead with your ideas and stay true to what you believe is important in storytelling. Lynda Obst was one of those people for me, and I feel incredibly honored to celebrate her tonight amongst those who know how hard it is to even get a movie made, let alone one that continues to resonate generation after generation. There aren't many films that actually achieve that, and I feel fortunate to have had that experience with Lynda. It is rare for someone to take a 22-year-old ingenue and empower them to be a side-by-side leader, someone with the history, wisdom, and success of so many notable films. And the success of her work is a testament to her drive and fierce desire to tell stories in the right way. I will never forget the first time I met Lynda, and thank God we were both Aries and smokers, as we bonded over our smoky treats and our hot-tempered, impatient star sign personalities. We could have sat there for hours dishing the tea, and her raspy laugh, I can hear it right now. From the moment we met, that's what we did. We laughed, sometimes with each other, and sometimes, a lot of the times, at each other. It was her drive and tenacity to create something great that will forever stick with me. She was a fighter for the art and the vision to make classic films. She loved great filmmaking, and if you were not working to your potential, you would hear about it from Lynda. From generation of women who had to yell to be heard, Lynda tried to balance that as best as she could, and no matter which side of the coin you encountered, you knew it was for the love of the movies. Reflecting on my experiences with her, it's the little moments or the phrases that come to mind, like when 22 years ago, almost to this day, she insisted that I watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days from the back of the largest New York movie theater with a real audience, and I didn't want to do it. I was super nervous. I didn't want to hide in the back, but she made me do it. And then the movie started, and then the second the raucous laughter started to happen, she just looked at me, and I'll never forget it. She's like, "Do you hear that? It's the sound of a hit movie." And I would have never had that experience if she hadn't grabbed me by the arm and pulled me into that room. And that is what she did with me every step along the way. She swept me up and just propelled me forward. I think we are so lucky in this magical world of storytelling to experience all these eccentric and fabulous humans and gain insight into their minds for just a couple of years or maybe a few months. But some truly stand out, and Lynda was one of those for me. So I feel incredibly fortunate to not only have loved her, but to have made romantic comedy history with her and to be a part of her remarkable body of work. And at just 22, got to experience something from beginning, from the writing process to the very end, that some people never get to experience in an entire career. So I am forever grateful and forever imprinted by her life and her love. Lynda's true love is her son, Ollie Obst. And yeah. And as women do, we discuss our work as much as we do our children. And we are as vocal about our desire to make the best film and what's best for the film as we are for what's best for our hearts. So I got a first-hand understanding of how deeply and profoundly she loved her son. And later, of course, the joy and love she has for her granddaughters, Sunny and Marlo. Lynda's passing seems unimaginable, and as I stand here right now, I really still wonder how it's possible, because there's just certain people who you feel like should live forever. And yet I guess she will. She will, in her legacy of films that will inspire generations, and most importantly, her true legacy, her family. I'm sure we'll forever feel her strong and powerful presence and her love shining through every day. We love you, Lynda.
And And finally, on behalf of the families of Paula and Lynda, thank you to the Producers Guild Awards for this great honor tonight. Thank you very much.